blah. Hope I'm in focus. I had a haircut. What do you think? It was down to there. It was so long, but you can see my bra. Sorry, internet. So I'm hoping that this is in focus. This is a completely impromptu video. Originally, I grabbed my intuition log and I grabbed a bunch of notes that I've manifested over the course of the duration in which I've been delving deep into my spirituality and stuff. Got my little bowl of crystals here. Everything in order to make my video. And some crazy shit happens just before I film it. I went to the bathroom, I came out and I went to put the light on. And you know when a bulb goes and it just goes poof and then it just kind of smashes usually? Well, I saw that, assumed it had smashed. It hadn't smashed. The bulb had somehow flung itself all the way down to the bottom of the stairs, no word of a lie, completely intact. I don't understand why it's not just fallen downwards like this. It's kind of gone down like that because it was on the landing and it's just gone. It's really weirded me out, to be honest, because it should have just come down like this. It should have just gone douche or douche, and instead it's just gone whoof and stayed intact. I do not understand. It freaked me out, to be honest. It really freaked me out, and I shouted at my friend to come and look, and he's literally picked up the bulb and been like, yeah, it's completely intact. It's not supposed to be like that. It should have at least smashed. And I'm just thinking to myself, when will the weird stuff stop in this house? When will the weird stuff stop? It's sort of probably my fault. I have got a tarot deck and oracle cards and an intuition log and a bowl full of crystals. I love them. I'm holding them like they're like sweets. Like I'm about to eat them, like nom nom. Now if I ate all of these, would I become like some... I wouldn't become anything, I'd just die. So that was a little bit weird because I'm just about to film a video about weird things and then something weird happens before I film the video. It kind of felt like a warning not to film this video because I was kind of thinking I've already broken one ring light. I don't want to break another ring light, and it just kind of gave me this vibe that I was going to switch this on and all the little bulbs were just going to go poof and it's going to be like, you know, make video tonight, Jess. You know, make video. Really strange things have been going on. More so strange coincidences that can't be coincidences and predictions that just come true with ease. It's so weird and strange and crazy. I just wanted to make a little bit of a video, like a little bit of an update video, a little bit of a spirituality based video, speaking about a few things that I've been up to, because I kind of did the spirituality haul and I've touched on it here and there, but I've not really kind of spoken about it since. I've just said that I'll make this video and I'll make that video, but I've not actually made any of those videos yet. So I figured I would just make a little video to kind of open up a little bit of a discussion about like what parts of it you're kind of interested in hearing more about, if that makes sense. I met my spiritual advisor and she's become a very good friend of mine as well, and I have a lot of respect for her, and she lives in Indianapolis, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say anything else, don't want to give away her ID or anything, but everything that she's told me would happen has happened, and all of the advice she has given me has always been 100% positive and correct. She's always steered me in the right direction. And it's quite crazy really, because I've connected with somebody via the internet who actually knows me incredibly well, and there's no actual decent explanation for how she could possibly know me as well as she knows me. Now, she could have actually gone and watched all of my videos and still not known the things that she knows about me. She found out I had a YouTube channel like after we started speaking, so it's just kind of bizarre. When I met my spiritual advisor, you see, I'd heard about spiritual advisors and I'd heard about, you know, people guiding you this way and, you know, light workers and things like that. And through finding out that I was an empath, I wanted to know more and more and more and more, and it just feels as though I found out about one thing and it's just led to another thing and another thing and another thing, and it's clicked with so many things in my life prior to knowing about a lot of these things. And it's really strange, and if you guys let me know which part you're most interested in hearing about, then I can make a video on that, because a lot of the time I wonder if the ideas I have are good enough. And I know that sounds crazy because everybody just says make a new video, make a new video, but a lot of the time it's like I want to make a video that I'm actually genuinely proud of as well. You know, I want to make something watchable, and I want to make something that you actually want to watch, as well as, you know, fulfilling my own desires. I met my spiritual advisor and she has just blown me away in a million trillion ways, and it's crazy because she kind of brought to light a lot of different things. She solidified a lot of things that I've always been very curious about. She told me a lot of things about myself that I didn't know about myself, and then it all just clicked. And never once did she ever charge me, you know, for any advice. Never once has she charged me for any advice, shall we say. She has never tried to exert any money out of me. And I want to make that very clear about spiritual advisors and people that you connect with that want to teach you. You know, anybody that approaches you and wants to kind of help you discover your inner light worker, or, you know, share your thoughts with the world in a way where you can kind of bring them to a form of enlightenment, but in a spiritual way. Anybody that genuinely wants to help you in your spiritual journey will not charge you. And I genuinely believe that because of the people I've connected with, you know, over the past year. You know, I've connected with some people in Australia, and I've connected with other people in America as well as my spiritual advisor. And I've spoken to various people, and it kind of sounds a little bit cultish, and I'm kind of like opening up the, you know, conversation about it, but it's not like that at all. It's nothing like that. My spiritual advisor pretty much opened me up even more. She also helped me through one of the toughest times in my life. And it's not like she's just always there and I can just instantly kind of go to her all the time. It's like more so a case of she's sort of weirdly there when I need her, like she just knows. And I know that sounds strange, but also it's like she's given me all of the information that I need, all of the tools that I need in order to like learn more, in order to get more confidence in what I do, and to also tell me what my skills are, if that makes sense. Then it's kind of like she vanishes off like a little fairy spiritual godmother, and if anything happens in my life, I take the advice that she's given me prior and I apply it to my life on top of the other things that, you know, I've come to discover about myself, consciously and subconsciously. Now, I could speak about spirituality for literally hours, so I am really condensing this down as much as I physically can, pretty much. A little bit of a ramble there, but a lot of people have actually asked me sort of, when I refer to spiritual advisor, what I mean. She's so informative and so wise. It's mind-blowing, but yeah, like I can touch more on the things that she's taught me rather than who she is as a person, because I just don't want to be sitting here on the internet, you know, like speaking about somebody like in a private manner, because I feel like I've got a private relationship with her as well as, you know, I don't know, a spiritual relationship with her. Like I'm quite connected to her. She is incredibly wise beyond her years and gifted, and she is definitely psychic, and she has proved she is psychic. Psychics do exist, seriously. I was very skeptical about psychics because a good few years ago I made a video on YouTube and I spoke about all of these predictions that a psychic had. And I could actually go back and maybe make a video, you know, kind of rewatching that and speaking about what came true and what didn't come true, because literally a few things kind of sort of came true, but in a way where I just know it was coincidence. And everything else that he told me, you know, he warned me about, didn't come true. Like he told me not to have children, for example. Now if I'd followed that psychic's advice, I wouldn't have Athena, and Athena's the best thing that ever happened to me. So I just kind of feel as though that was a gimmick to me. And because I had such a gimmicky experience with a psychic, it kind of just put me off ever going to a medium or a psychic or anybody. I feel like having that experience with that psychic that I paid like 40 quid to go and see, by the way, it just completely like made me into a non-believer really, in a way. I thought maybe there's a monk somewhere on a hill and he's psychic, but you know, I'll never know about it. See like all the shit that Darren Brown does, and I'd think like, see, he did a series, I swear he did something at some point where he actually went around proving like a lot of things wrong, because he could just kind of show you through tricks of the human mind and tricks of body language, blah-de-da-da, and he applied that to psychics. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was a show where Darren Brown did something like that. When you got Darren Brown floating about doing stuff like that, it kind of makes you a little bit skeptical about people claiming to be psychic. When it came to horoscopes, I always found them to be very general. I'd never really actually delved deep into tarot scopes before. I was in a very, very, very difficult position when I stumbled across my spiritual advisor, and she pulled me out of this shit, and she introduced me to a variety of different things. First of all, she taught me the importance of meditation. She gave me the basics, gave me advice on all of the different chakras. She taught me a bunch of different things, and she has sensed how I am feeling, no word of a lie, from the other side of the world. And it sounds like I'm talking absolute shit, but I'm not. I've got friends that can back me up. I've had friends with me when she's known something that's happening that she physically could not know is happening, and she's speaking to me on Facebook about what's happening. How would she know? It's so crazy. And she also taught me about how to cleanse my cards, like if I'm ever using tarot cards or oracle cards. I've got a big list of positive affirmations in this book as well, and more about positive affirmations. There's so much I've learned through all of this, and it sounds crazy. I feel like it's so hard to communicate how this has helped me, but also how much this has freaked me out, because there's a few experiences I had when I was a child, basically. I told my dad and I told my mum, and it was shrugged off as bullshit sort of thing, so I never really ever believed you could predict things. I never really believed that you could be that connected within yourself, that you could sense other people's feelings, or just kind of have a really strong intuition and sort of just know like how things are going to play out before they happen sort of thing. I'd had dreams, and I don't really want to go into detail, to be honest, about the dreams. I've told like a few of my close friends about them, and I've sort of touched on it, but not really in a YouTube video because I don't want to get called crazy, to be honest. One of the craziest things about sitting here right now in front of you guys is the fact that 80% of the people that watch this video will be skeptical. 80% of the people will think I'm bullshitting, purely for the fact that I'm sat here now telling you guys how I met somebody over the internet that has changed my life, but for the better in every single way. It's mind-blowing. Last time I spoke to you guys about any form of cards or anything like that, I told you guys I picked up the Doreen, Virtue, Archangel, Michael cards. These cards aren't the most informative of cards, but they can be. How do I explain this without sounding crazy? I started with oracle cards, and now I've moved on to tarot cards. So after really trying to kind of learn and grasp by doing a few readings for myself, a few readings for my closest friends, I extended and did a couple more readings. For example, like I am very close with my friend Savannah. I love her to bits, right? But she lives in Canada, so we've never met each other before. And I did an oracle card reading for her, and it really resonated with her in like a multitude of ways. It really did. And it was mind-blowing because I had to meditate prior to doing the reading. I had to sit there, I had to focus, and I really had to take myself somewhere, you know, in order to kind of get these messages, as weird as it sounds. It sounds stupid, it sounds so crazy. With the oracle cards, it felt as though I could kind of get a gist, but even getting some kind of gist was enough to kind of set off some kind of light bulb in my head, thinking, I feel like I can scrape the surface, but why can't I dive deeper? I've got all kinds of crystals here. I pick up different ones, like just intuitively. I just know which ones I need, and I find that through meditation and through focusing, these really help to kind of strengthen my intuition a lot. And I kind of thought that that's really as good as it was gonna get. I had to learn a lot more, and I had to delve a lot deeper, and blah 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 blah. Before touching any of this stuff, before even thinking about oracle cards, like spirituality was something that I wanted to get into, mainly because of my depression and mainly because of a lot of the hard things I've been through in my life. Like there's so much shit I've had to put up with, and when you get to breaking point, you think what's left, and then when you get to suicidal, you think then what's after that? You have so many questions, and you're so inquisitive if you suffer from anxiety on a daily basis, depression, or any mental health disorder that forces you into a mind frame where you feel like that's it, there's nothing else, it's just darkness, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden there's a light that comes from nowhere, it's absolutely magnificent and it's beautiful, and you're kind of thinking, why is my brain like this? This is so strange, why am I so sensitive? I started to realise I was actually picking up on other people's emotions as well, like because I'm very sensitive to those things. And when she came along, she told me and taught me a lot of things that just resonated with me. I can separate now what is bipolar disorder and what is me being an empath, basically, which is picking up on other people's emotions and feelings. And I know that sounds crazy, but genuinely, I think that is one of the reasons why I have actually been in a panicky state, and I have been heavily influenced as well in certain situations in my past, because I do feel other people's energy. And when I was younger, I picked up a lot on like my mum's aggression as well in arguments and stuff. Like I would argue back, and it's like a lot of that anger inside of me was there, and I was carrying it a lot because she was around a lot. And then when I took myself out of those circumstances and she wasn't there, I didn't feel that anger as much, I didn't feel her mood as much. So I could make a video all about what being an empath entails. That's another thing that I could talk about. But what I wanted to say as well is, before I touched these oracle cards, I was learning a lot, you know, about intuition, meditation. As human beings, we often see everything in such a 2D way that we can't foresee or comprehend like anything more than that, basically. So if you delve deeper into anything that might be a little bit, you know, odd to somebody, a lot of the time like you'll shut it down because it's not accepted. Because there's going to be people that click on this video and think that I'm absolutely insane, but there's going to be some people people that think, oh my God, me too. And it's that fear we've got of kind of speaking about these things that kind of puts a stigma on it as well. But I'm not trying to say, by the way, that I'm not mentally ill and I'm just an empath, because that isn't true at all. Like, I do have bipolar disorder and anxiety and depression, and my spirituality isn't going to fix that, but it most certainly helps. And I was originally using the oracle cards to actually get messages, just like I would get messages from tarot cards, but because I hadn't actually used tarot cards before, like I'd used the tarot cards with the shapes, but I hadn't used like proper tarot cards with like the images and everything on them before. I'd only used these oracle cards. And I thought these oracle cards were about as good as it was going to get for me, basically, because I tried to use the tarot cards that just had shapes on them, which didn't really bring me any clarity at all. They didn't really do anything for me, but these oracle cards, they just happened to click. I was really doing a lot of research, and I was really reading a lot, and I was speaking to my spiritual advisor a lot, and I was really practicing a lot, and I still hadn't saged my house, funnily enough, while I was doing this. I was just using sage incense in the background, which was naughty. I shouldn't have really been doing that, because every single time you use any kind of cards, you should always protect yourself as well. You should always do it a certain way. Otherwise, you know, you could let in lower entities, and you don't want to do that. We don't want any of those lower entities. We want to keep those lower entities at bay. I could even make a video speaking about how I prepare myself before I do a reading. I had to learn a lot about myself before I could actually take on anything that these cards had to say, because through my journey of spirituality, I've had to literally lose my ego. And I mean, I've had to literally fuck my ego off. It's like cutting a part of yourself away and actually looking at it from an outside perspective. And then you realise there's a lot of things that you don't like about yourself, but instead of actually just getting annoyed with the fact you don't like these things about yourself, you just change them for the better, because you realise why you feel a certain way about certain things and how they affect you when you look at things from a non-ego way. And people get scared of the word ego. People think that means, oh, you've got a big ego, you've got a big head, you've got all of this, but we've all got an ego. And what our ego is it pretty much, it grows with us, and it takes in everything that happens around us as well. So I pretty much had to separate myself completely from my ego, which meant I had to delve deep and learn some things. And just to kind of give you a gist on the kind of stuff that I've been writing down, I've had to drill into my head in order to kind of get myself to a place where I can separate myself from myself, because that's the hardest part. Whenever you want to read cards for anybody else, or you want to read cards for yourself even, you still have to separate yourself from yourself. How do you separate yourself from yourself when you are in yourself? That's what she said. I'm just going to read a little something from this book to just give you a gist on what sort of journey this really has been for me. I've spent my years allowing myself to feel bad towards myself because I never knew there was a choice. People and circumstances that were unhealthy for me made me feel oppressed and made it hard for me to grow in self-love and acceptance. My lows trigger those feelings, and none of them are true. But that's hard to believe when we've been programmed to believe them. Rid the subconscious of lies. Then instead of the bad, you will draw the good, and things will stop hurting so much. Don't assume. Ask and you will seek truthful answers. Learn to separate from emotional reactions. So I'm going on a little bit of a tangent really, but I started with the oracle cards and now I've moved on to tarot cards. And the cards that I've got are the original Rider-Waite tarot deck. I had no idea how informative this could get until I picked up these tarot cards, and I thought I felt at one with the oracle cards. I felt like the oracle cards were second nature to me and I was picking up loads of things. I wasn't picking up anywhere near as much as I've been picking up with the tarot cards. The tarot cards feel like second nature to me, and it's really strange as well because when I got them, like I went through every single card just looking at them, and it just felt like vibrations times 10 in my hand, and it just feels as though I've held these cards in a past life. It feels as though I just know how to use them, and I've watched quite a few of the tarot scopes, you know, on YouTube, and like I said prior, like I've never really been the biggest fan of horoscopes really. Like I'm really into astronomy and astrology. I'm just going to insert a little disclaimer here, as it's instantly alarming to hear that someone can believe in both astronomy and astrology these days. It's often one or the other. So while both do sort of go hand in hand, it's important to be aware that astronomy is a natural science, so the study of celestial objects, stars, galaxies, planets, moons, asteroids, comets. Astrology, however, attempts to study how those positions, motions and properties affect people and events on Earth, however, is classed as pseudoscience. To put it bluntly, astrology and astronomy were sort of dating each other up until the 17th century, the age of reason. They were constantly together, almost inseparable. When astronomy said to astrology, I've been trying to make this work for quite some time now. While you've been useful, and we've had a pretty good thing going on here. I've been trying to get a bit more truth and proof out of you to really trust you, and you keep giving me reasons to doubt you. I'm just not feeling it anymore. Maybe we should go our separate ways. I need a bit more proof on what you're trying to tell me. We can both, agree to disagree, agree that the earth is an integral part of the universe, but cut the supernatural metaphysical bullshit. I'm sick of hearing it, and come back when you got a little bit more proof. I supported your research. We were good together. I don't want to hear it anymore. I could make a video more detailed to expressing and explaining my beliefs, but the easiest way to say this is I'm a firm believer in science, mainly because of my dad, which has also made it harder for me to ever believe in things that cannot be scientifically proved. Only through my own first-hand experiences can I now truly believe in things that I wouldn't have given much food for thought originally. I am a firm believer that we make our own future, but I do, however, believe that we are given certain obstacles to encounter in order to form a deeper understanding of our own life's purpose, which is far bigger than anything we can prove because we still don't know everything. Until we know everything, all we can do is form our own conclusions based on theory, science, and evidence. I don't believe any of the horoscopes I read in the newspaper. They come off as generalised garbage. However, astrology goes far deeper than reading what your supposed sun sign entails. That's often why you're told to refer to your birth chart. Due to having first-hand out-of-the-norm experiences more than a handful of occasions to further encourage my spiritual beliefs, I have been forced into a mindset where I can no longer ignore my own evidence. Evidence I've witnessed, I have experienced, and the people around me have also experienced too. So I'm choosing to form my own conclusions and beliefs based on all of the information my mind has soaked up from first-hand experience and research, but also not allowing myself to get entirely separated from the facts that I've been presented with already. I had to rewire my mindset in order to give all of this a chance because I'm such a scientific person at heart because of how my dad has brought me up. That's why discussing this comes across as contrasting to my own long-term beliefs that I have carried up until this point. However, in my mind, everything fits together better than ever. In terms of understanding my own reality, I feel like we are all connected to the universe and we are forever gaining a better understanding of how it works. By choosing to believe in astrology, I've now come to the realisation that I do not have to sacrifice my love for astronomy, and I don't need to see things in a 2D perspective when I do truly believe everything is connected. I kind of see it like this. My life is the lab room and I'm the test subject. I'm in control of my own ideas and what I choose to believe in. Life gives me the proof to solidify my own research, and how I choose to apply that to my everyday life is entirely up to me. Now let's just jump straight back into the video where I'm pretty sure I was rambling about how shitty horoscopes are in the Metro. The horoscopes in the newspapers like the Metro, for example, or the Manchester Evening News, I believe are a lot of bollocks. It just kind of feels like they're generated and they're not actually coming from anywhere. Whereas the tarot scopes, and when you kind of delve more into kind of Mercury retrograde and where the planets are and how it affects us as human beings, it becomes a little bit more believable. And then with the tarot cards, when you kind of, combine that with spirituality and you combine that with meditation and you really delve deep into that place, it really does kind of take me somewhere else in a way. I've experimented with a variety of different spreads and I've done a variety of different readings with these cards. I recently did a reading for my friend Demi and she really appreciated the reading and said it really resonated with her in a multitude of ways. And that's really cool. And there's a bunch of other people that I've done readings for as well that have been really interested in them. I could tell a story time as well about how I've had to sage my house, because it turns out I've saged the house, guys, and I'm probably gonna have to sage it again tonight after the weird shit happened at the beginning of this video, to be honest, because it's freaked me the fuck out. The tarot cards have well and truly blown my mind. Every single reading I've done has freaked everybody out. I've brought people to tears and I just find it to be incredibly overwhelming and strange, to be honest, because I was so skeptical about all of this. I understand this has been a little bit of a rambly video, so to kind of bring all of it to a little bit of a close, there's a few different videos that I can basically make, and there's a few different videos I'm considering making. Lynette brought a lot of things to light for me throughout my spiritual journey, so I'd like to make a video actually talking about the things that she's made me discover about myself. I'd like to actually make a video about how I've learned to separate myself from my ego in a way where it's not like I don't enjoy materialistic things anymore, or it's not like I don't want to wear makeup anymore. It's not like I'm going to start wearing my hair and a bun on my head because I don't want to transmit any negative energy, because there's also a lot of very strict beliefs as well, like that you shouldn't cut your hair, for example, because that can affect your energy levels and your chakras and stuff. Apparently you lose energy through your hair follicles at the bottom. I feel like you can take spirituality to a crazy, crazy intense level. Some of us are incredibly religious, for example. Some of us are just a little bit religious, and some of us are atheists. Like, we've all got different beliefs, but everything has manifested, everything has proved itself to me. I just kind of want to prove it so it doesn't sound like I'm talking shit, to be honest. I need to get my friend in here because I sound crazy. Tried to explain to them how everything's coming true with the tarot cards and everything's come true with the oracle cards. It's so weird, it's so strange.
But yeah, it is all the card readings you've done with the tarot deck and the oracle deck have basically been right on point. Like, proper on point. And the thing with the light bulb earlier on.
The thing with the light bulb was fucking freaky. See, he was there, he saw it. I'm not crazy. Did it smash?
The bulb did not shatter. Usually bulbs shatter when they blow. Am I right or wrong? I'm sure I'm right on that one, but...
Nothing! Completely intact. Weird stuff happening in this house. Weird stuff. I could also make a story time, by the way, about saging my house. But what else have I predicted, Joe? Because there's other things as well that are really strange that are escaping me.
The day before... Lucy passed away, you said you had like a strange...
Oh yeah, no, there was the day before when I was in the living room. I was in the living room and I said that I could kind of just feel the vibe of your mum, almost. I felt like somebody in the room, in the living room, it sounds really weird, I felt like somebody in the living room wanted Joe. And I felt like they had a message for Joe. And I turned around to you and I said to you, didn't I? I said, someone in this room wants you, Joe.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to stand in the room, you wanted to leave the room, so then you left the room. And then I said, have you seen Lucy? I think it was, wasn't it? Have you been to see Lucy? And then you said, oh, I should go and see her. And then when you went to see her, she wasn't well, was she?
No, she weren't well and like passed away within 24 hours.
I just knew that something wasn't right with his dog and that he needed to go and see her. And then like when he came back to the house, I just knew it was inevitable the next day.
Yeah, proper weird.
It was scarily accurate as well because like I did a painting for him. I don't know if I've mentioned this. Have I mentioned this in any of my videos?
I don't think you have.
Like I did this painting, like, and I'll show you guys another video if you do want to see it. But like I did it for Joe and I did it for like in memory of like his mum. And I thought that I would put his dog, who was still alive, in the painting, the family dog with his mum because it was his mum's dog. So I put Lucy in it 6 months before she passed away.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. And it was strange because wasn't it before I actually met my spiritual advisor?
Yeah, we were.
Before Lynette, wasn't it?
Before, yeah.
Yeah, because before Lynette, things were getting a bit weirder, but they didn't have any actual...
No sense to it.
No sense. Nothing made sense, and then she came along and everything made sense. You think I should make a Tarot channel, don't you?
I do.
Jingleheartart Tarot!
Jingle tarot cards.
Jingle tarot cards. I don't know, I kind of feel like I want to do a video where I do a reading for each sign, and then if enough people like it, if it resonates with enough people, I could maybe make it a monthly thing. But I don't know, I don't feel good enough yet to do that. Like, but yeah, everything's been accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Your record speaks for itself.
My record speaks for itself. Every single person. I just feel like I don't want to get too cocky though. I don't want to get too cocky because when you bring something to the internet, it's risky. It's so risky and scary. And it's like, I'm so proud of how on the readings I am, like, because I have been proper accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna get them out again in a minute. This is the thing, like, I get them out and I put them in my hands and I just don't want to let go of them. I've never felt so drawn to, like, cards in my life because I've never been a fan of cards, like, playing cards, like, originally. You know how people used to play blackjack? As a kid, if it was a rainy day and somebody got cards out, I was the kid that was like, fuck this, can we please play on Tomb Raider? I wasn't interested. I know it sounds so bad, but I just never really was a fan of cards. Like right now, I just feel as though now I'm a little bit more calm and now I'm doing something with my hands. Like it just feels like I could actually sit here and vlog and just kind of shuffle these cards and feel more content almost, more relaxed. It brings me so much relaxation to just even hold these cards. Like I could probably sit there and watch Game of Thrones and shuffle these things and it would just probably keep me focused on the programme because I also have ADHD. So I struggle to kind of focus really. Like I'm always getting distracted. You'll notice in my videos as well that I tend to look over here, over there, over here, over there, over there. Like I look all over the place all the time because I'm always distracted and I tend to speak quite fast unless I'm really tired and then I have a very slow, relaxing voice. But yeah, I don't know. If I was going to pick a card, I'd probably pick an oracle card because I feel like that would probably resonate with a lot more of you. If I was to just randomly pull a random tarot card, wouldn't make any sense. I feel like there needs to be some kind of meaning behind it. There needs to be some kind of something specific, otherwise it's too general really, in my opinion personally. But yeah, like just got those out to shuffle them for the sake of shuffling them. But I'm going to use them soon anyway. I'm going to sage properly though. because I already had an incident where I didn't sage and got told off for it. I need to make a story time about how I've saged my house because it's really funny. Like, I want to insert the conversation I was having with my spiritual advisor while it was taking place, because pretty much what I did is I got the cards out, right? And I didn't sage before and after like I should have. And she had a go at me for it. I was in bed and I was like, do I have to? And she was like, yes, right now. You're very open. Go now. And I went and I got the sage and I recorded it and I sent it her a video message and she was like, thumbs up, there we go. Because she was like, you can't be doing that. You can't be playing with fire, you'll get burned. So you really do have to protect yourself when you're doing things like this. And I know it sounds crazy, but it kind of feels like I'm a human Ouija board. As strange as it sounds, and I've never been one to actually mess with stuff like that. You'll never catch me with a Ouija board. The battery's gonna die, so let's see if I can quickly pull an oracle card for you guys beforehand. Here we go. This one's just jumping out to me. Honour and trust your feelings. Archangel Michael urges you to look inward and listen, for this card is a sign that your feelings are accurately tuned into the truth. Some of these feelings may be uncomfortable to face, yet they're with you for an important reason. If you're conflicted, sit down with a pen and paper and conduct an interview with your emotional self, asking, what are you feeling? Why? What would you like me to do? Your feelings will speak loudly and clearly if you keep an open mind and trust what you hear. Respect your inner voice as the powerful life force that connects you to the divine. Often God and the angels answer your prayers and offer you guidance through your physical and emotional feelings. If you say, oh, it's just a feeling, you're ignoring divine assistance. This card reminds you to listen, really listen to your feelings. Could have pulled this card for me, could have pulled this for one of you guys. Don't know if that resonated with any of you. I could have even pulled this card because a lot of you guys are watching this video and incredibly skeptical about what I've been speaking about. So honour and trust your feelings, guys. Make your own judgment with this video. At the end of the day, if these videos are a little bit too intense for you guys, you don't necessarily have to click them. You can just watch the more light-hearted ones, the hauls and the hair videos and the chitter-chattery videos and stuff, if you're not really interested in the spirituality and stuff like that. Let me know if you want me to do any readings with the tarot cards or the oracle cards. I did just randomly pull an oracle card for you guys, but that's not in the nature in which I would usually go about things. Like, I do have my crystals and stuff in front of me, but I've not got any sage on the go, and I'm not doing a proper reading. But I'll tell you something, I'm incredibly drawn to her eyes and how bright she is, and I find it quite funny that I've pulled a card that resembles my bedding and my clothes so much right now. Like, seriously. Isn't that strange? It's sort of like the same colours. This sounds so crazy. I really hope this doesn't sound really gimmicky to you guys, because this is actually something that really means a lot to me too, because through doing these readings I've actually been helping people and I've actually been, you know, growing as a person. It's actually made me discover so much about myself. The whole aspect of spirituality, the whole journey itself has changed me for the better in a multitude of ways, especially with how I react to certain things that happen in my life, and it's helped me separate myself a lot from certain situations. There's a lot of stuff that I want to speak about, but I just feel like I'll be sat here for fucking hours. I've probably been speaking for long enough, so I'm going to go now anyway. Speak to you guys soon.